Welcome to the latest edition of the Campaign Doctor. CNN projects that Zohran Mamdani will win the race for mayor of New York with 50 point something percent of the vote. Congratulations. His campaign is really a classic challenger campaign victory, very much the ones I describe in my book, Beat the Incumbent. So what's the formula to run a successful challenger campaign? Well, first, you need to call for change. You need to own change and defend your territory. And once your opponents start to enter your territory and your turf, arguing for a different kind of change, you know that you're on the right track. Then you need to break down your call for change with very specific issues. And again, it's exactly what Mamdani did with affordability, with rent freeze, with free buses, minimum wage. You need to define change as improving daily life. People are usually not so interested in change as defined in a radical change of values. They want change as improving daily life. Now, yes, Mamdani is a democratic socialist. The media and in particular his opponents really try to emphasize it. But if you look at what he campaigned on, it's really real issues for real people in New York. Number two, I think Mamdani is a very credible messenger for the message. If you think about who do you trust to bring change to New York, is it Andrew Cuomo or Mamdani? Obviously Mamdani. And he has really great campaign skills as a candidate. He's a reasonable, good debater. I'm sure he's a great retail politician. I mean, let's think about who Mamdani is. He really started his political career by challenging a long-term incumbent assemblywoman and successfully defeated her in the primary. And then there was a lot of talk about his age. I've personally worked for local executives in their early 30s and for others in their 80s. And in my experience, age doesn't really matter per se for voters. It doesn't matter in the sense of a number. What matters for voters is, do they think the person can do the job? And obviously a majority in New York does think so. It may also help that right now the political demand is not really for experience. People don't want more experience. They want change. And then I think Mamdani really ran a grassroots campaign. In fact, it really reminds you a lot of Barack Obama in 2008. He had tens of thousands of volunteers that went door to door for him, who made phone calls for him, who came to events, and yes, who also donated small amounts to his campaign. Now, I'm often asked, how much money is enough? You don't necessarily need more than your opponent, but you need enough. Now, I think this grassroots movement helped Mamdani to stay competitive also with respect to fundraising. Yes, Cuomo had much more, maybe double, but 1 to 2 is a ratio that you can live with. And there are also things that money can't buy. And I think it's this energy that is really unique to a challenger. I also write about it in the book. I think if you're a challenger, you have this attitude that there's nothing left to lose, and this can create tremendous energy, like in the sense we're just throwing out everything and make it happen. And it's exactly what Mamdani did, and I think it's part of the reason why he clinched the 50%. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.